Damon Dillard, also known as the high income sales coach, is first and foremost a believer. As a husband, father, mentor, and coach, he believes that the greatest sale he has ever made was the sale to himself of his own potential. After barely graduating high school with a 1.7, yes, 1.7 GPA, leaving college as a sophomore and working and being fired from over 20 jobs. Between 18 and 28, he was broken, beat up by life. The world spoke about his potential, but he was behind in promises and lacking purpose. It was then he remembered a principle: all things are possible to those that believe. Mentorship and grace resonated his passion and zeal for life. He then created a sales organization that created over 20 million in revenue over the next 5 years. He has trained over 700 sales professionals and created over 50 documented six-figure income earners. He now travels the world sharing the truth about your potential, breaking barriers of your belief to break through to your own success and fulfillment. So I wanted to introduce the Damon Dillard, and it's going to lead a little chat with us today, having a straight conversation with us tonight about how we can get to the bank. And mostly our mindset has a lot to do with it. So Damon, did I miss anything?
You didn't miss anything. Listen, I'm excited to be on the line with you. I am on the line with some incredible people right now. We see Doris in the building. I
Mhm.
see you, Emma and Evelyn and Kendra and Kimberly and Lenice and Miss Margaret. And I'm just going to say Miss Reed, because if I attempt to pronounce that, you're going to have to blame it on my head and definitely not my heart.
Keisha.
So I'm excited to be on the line with you. I'm
Awesome.
excited to be here. How you feeling this evening?
I'm great. I love having these types of conversations, and I welcome everybody that's on here because I have a lot of people who are in different areas. So we have some that are retired, we have some
Mm,
people who are 9 to 5 workers, and I've got my sales people in here, my real
mhm.
estate salespeople as
Okay.
well. And Margaret, of course, is in the house. I know you spoke with her as far as the young lady who just sold her home.
Yeah.
And she invited Evelyn. So we have a plethora of people in the home. Definitely need to have these kind of conversations. So thank you.
Yeah. Awesome and amazing. I'm excited.
So we'll do things a little bit different, everyone. This is my interview. This is my Oprah moment where I get to interview him. Damon and I had met a few years ago, and in different circles, and I like those types of conversations where you have um, great people. You know, when you have intelligent people, those were back in Atlanta. We met at one of the conferences.
Mhm.
And, like attracts like. And one of the rooms that we were speaking in had to do with Neo was in the home, and Myron Golden was also in there. And we had a great chance to have that conversation. So I am super excited to get things started because many of you are in a place, and I know this is mid-year, and when you have a conversation about, what's going on at this point in your life, mentally and financially, a lot of things have to start with the mentality, your mindset first. So this is mid-year, Damon. So I know with your power punch that you have, you can be able to take them to the next level because some people are stuck.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'll be vulnerable because there's some moments where I want to at least be real. Like there are some moments where I just want to shed some insight as far as why I'm not at my best potential. But thank
Mhm.
you, everyone, and definitely thank you, Damon, for jumping on in tonight. So let's jump right on into these questions.
Yeah. Let's get to it. Let's go.
I'll
Let's
just
go.
embody my Oprah, if that's okay. All right.
Listen, I'm with it.
So when you think about mindset, that is a big thing when you have a lot of conversations, when meetings are starting at work, when you have lots of conversations, especially with church, they focus on your mindset. So
Mhm.
what was the first mindset shift for you that you had to make before your income ever changed?
It's a really, really good question. What was the first mindset shift I needed to make before my income ever changed?
Yeah.
This is really good. This is really, really
Like
good.
those questions.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really good question. Um, I think I want to go in a little bit of a different direction than you're probably guessing right now. The very first thing was that I had a desire to change my income.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the very first thing. And it wasn't from a place of abundance. It wasn't from a place of, oh my God, I can't wait to be a multimillionaire, or man, I gotta make 10,000 a month. My desire when I got into even the idea of personal self-development was I wanted to make $2,000 a month. Right. Like I was struggling financially. This was back in 2013. And honestly, I grew up struggling financially. So I had a desire to change my family situation. Right. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, John, Luke, every single one of the disciples. I'm living in a 600 square foot apartment. I'm barely able to afford the rent there. I had many reasons to win already at that point in my life. I had already had children. I had a girlfriend who's not my wife. Like, I had many, many reasons to win, but I was struggling financially. And it was crazy because the harder that I worked towards resolving my financial issues, the more that it seemed like the cash eluded me. It was like the more that I went towards the money, the more that the money was hiding from me. And so the first real shift from me, I don't even think it was a thought. It was grace. It was mercy. I tell people all the time, whenever God is ready to change something in your life, he's going to send you a person. I believe Mike Murdoch said that. He said, and it is your discernment and being able to recognize who that person is that will lead you one of two places, to poverty or to prosperity. And so for many people, even listening to this, whether they're listening to it live or they're listening to the replay, like I believe it is moments that matter, and your ability to honor a word, right? As an adult, you know that there have been seasons in your life where things have been very, very good, and maybe things have been challenging. And it's typically based on a word that you chose to honor. So based on your question, I want to share something, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. When people say the word mindset, if you don't mind, if I just ask the community, because we have a little bit more of an intimate call, and I even want to ask you, if you had to define what the word mindset even meant, what would everybody say? Just out of curiosity, when you say, hey, I need to work on my mindset, what does mindset even mean?
Thinking.
Behavior.
Thought process.
Yeah.
I love it. So somebody said thinking, somebody said a behavior.
Yeah.
A process of behavior. Any other guesses on what mindset is? Lorie, what do you think mindset is?
That's what I said, mental behavior.
Mental behavior. Anybody else what mindset is?
I would say broaden my horizons.
I love that. So broadening my horizons. Okay.
Yeah. Excusing the conflict and not taking on responsibility or taking on blame that I am not cooperating in or something. So it's like putting yourself first, prioritizing yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, in order to get your mind straight, you got to shut off and the distractions.
So good. So good. Doris, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
That was basically somewhat what I was going to say. Okay. Focus and everything that she just said, I just say ditto.
I would say taking all of that. Action also.
Say it again. You said action.
Taking action.
Mm-hmm.
Taking action. Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Parks, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
I mean, I just was thinking, and basically, your mindset, like where are you mentally at this present? You know, what is your mindset? You know, is it a positive mindset? I mean, are you growing? Are you open for growth? Like, what is, at the present time, where are you mentally?
Yeah, really. Basically. Yeah, so good. Does anybody else want to answer that at all? Like,
This is Margaret. I was going to say exactly the same thing. Your mental state that you're in.
Yes.
Mental state. I love it. If you all are in a place where you can do so, I want you to write this down. Because when things really, really shifted for me, God sent me a person, right? And that person advised me to do something. He said, Damon, there are two different types of people in the world. He said, Damon, there are people that read the dictionary, and then there are people that do not. Now, ladies, and if we have any gentlemen on here, I graduated high school with a 1.7 GPA. Okay, so I wasn't reading anything. I did end up going to college, but I came out as a sophomore, and trust me, that did not come with a degree. And so I learned very, very quickly in life that a formal education can make you a living, but a self-education will make you a fortune. And so I began to really take words seriously, not just based on his advice, but when I looked at the Bible, right? Because I'm not here to push my faith upon you. Obviously, I am a believer, but there's even a scripture that says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, which means the very genesis, the world, the start, the foundation, the beginning of anything is going to start with a single word. And so words are everything. And so when I looked up the word mindset, if you want to write this down, I think this is going to blow some of your minds. You're going to be like, whoa, I never thought about it that way, right? The word mindset, according to Oxford, is the established set of attitudes held by someone. Mindset is the established set of attitudes held by someone. Now here's what's so interesting, ladies. In the definition, the word attitudes is underlined, which to me automatically said, okay, that's a clue. There's a clue in here. We got to go a little bit deeper. So if mindset is the established set of attitudes held by someone, watch this. Attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior.
Yep.
What should that mean to all of us? Here's what it means. When it says a settled way, settled typically is my belief system. So what I'm believing, if you want to write this down, what I'm believing is the foundation of any result in my life. Whether it's the result of my financial life, my businesses, my personal life, my relationships, my faith, my fitness, anything. My beliefs are creating my results. But my beliefs are having a direct impact on my thinking. My thinking has a direct impact on how I feel.
Right.
How I feel has a direct impact on what I do or my actions, and my actions create my results. And so why am I taking a very long way of answering Lorie's very short question? Here's why. Because the mindset shift changed for me the minute I learned how important beliefs are.
Mm-hmm.
The minute my mentor helped me understand, okay, Damon, if you're going to change your life, if you're going to go from making $11,000 a year to making that in a minute, to making that in an hour, whatever it is, you're going to have to change your belief system. Lorie, that is when everything changed for me.
I love it. And I learned that most from David Immunitier. And belief was the word. And when you believe, that changes everything. That is the precedence of everything. So what you believe is true. You know, and so a lot of us are talking and, you know, it's bad traffic and I'm never going to find a wife or I'm never going to find a husband. That's what you believe. So that's what starts to manifest from that point. So words are super important when it comes to the people that you're around. And of course, the words that you're speaking, kind of similar to that. He said $2,000 a month, y'all, was what he was looking to make. All right. So this was a couple of years ago, I was looking to make $10,000 in a month. And I called one of my mentors because I knew he's the only one that could understand how to do this. And I called him up and I'm frazzled. He's not. And he's working in his normal day. And I'm like, what do I need to do to make $10,000? I need to make 10,000. My focus was on the money. My focus, ladies and gentlemen, was on the money. So he says, what you have to do is you have to reverse that. And those that are in sales, it's very hard to to reverse that, because you're thinking, I need to get the money, I need to get the check. He said, what you need to do is start focusing on helping more people. And I said, help more people? I need 30 days. I need to get $10,000. And he says, when you have that mindset shift, then you will attract whatever you need and more. Yeah. He helped me create my second book. And when I put that book together, that was The Extraordinary Makeover, was a book, Damon, with 18 women's stories. Do what you do best as far as get people together, hear them out, and share it with the world. Amen. And that's what's going to happen. So when, ladies and gentlemen, I say that to say, we're focusing a lot on money, when you have to focus on, what do I need to do to be a blessing to other people? How can I be a blessing to other people? And then God is like, oh, got it. I see we need to send the right people. As Damon says, you will get people in your life you will never even think that should be in your space. And they're the ones that's going to take you to that next level. So I believe that it is truly about focusing on the work from the heart, not from the commission check, but from the heart, as far as what is it that needs to be done to get our mind focused on, well, I'm looking to get the house, or I'm looking to get the car, all the things that people want, but focus on what do I need to do to be a blessing in order to get that. Then, ladies and gentlemen, then it starts to come. So I just wanted to share that. That's a real story for a lot of people, especially they're in sales. They gotta, their mindset is focused on that money.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
Hope that helps.
Do you want to say something in addition? Do you want to flow with that? Because hey, listen, I get paid to talk, so I always got something to say.
We're gonna keep it moving. But yeah, definitely, you guys, if you have Instagram, definitely follow Damon Dillard on there, so you can follow more of his journey and get more of this, what we're talking about, and then more. And then, of course, we'll connect you guys so that you can experience more conversations one-on-one with him. So this is just a little bit. All right. Now, we've got a lot of people that are working 9 to 5, and then you have sales individuals, like a mixture of people that are going to be listening to this. But someone that may be stuck in a 9 to 5 position, how do you help someone move their mindset from stuck to thriving? How do you help them with that?
Well, first of all, I don't even feel like the word stuck is appropriate, right? Because at the end of the day, the only reason you may feel stuck is because something is incongruent with where you're looking to go. And so if what I'm seeing is different from my expectation, there's some incongruency there. And I feel like anytime there's an agitation on your heart, it's just simply something that God is calling you to. And so if I am working a 9 to 5, there's nothing insufficient about having a 9 to 5. Matter of fact, you should have a tremendous amount of gratitude for having a job in the first place. But sometimes there are some people that may have a different desire, right? And I am not the coach that will tell people, hey, you have to be an entrepreneur, because that's absolutely not true. I do not believe everybody was created to be an entrepreneur. Otherwise, who's going to take care of the plumbing in the buildings? Who's going to take care of the children that need, aid or medical help or different things? I think I looked at some stats the other day, Lorie, that over the next 5 years, there will be over 500,000 plumbing and electrician jobs that will need to be filled in the United States of America. And right now, there is not a foresight on that even coming to pass. I think I looked at another stat that there was another employment opportunity that we absolutely have to have based on our economy that right now a lot of people are not even looking towards. So I don't think anybody needs to become an entrepreneur. However, if you do feel an incongruency, that comes from one word and one word only, and that word is desire. And I believe that desire is the starting point of all achievement. And so I heard a wise man once say that whatever you're drawn to, you're also called to. And so there may be some people that are experiencing you, and they say, you know what? Okay, right now I am working a 9 to 5. I'm not necessarily happy with only working a 9 to 5, but I feel like God is calling me to something more. Right. I feel like there's an agitation there. Well, I think they should follow you. They should look at your story. They should follow your content. They should ask, hey, what are you doing to create your results? I think that is the starting point of everything.
Yeah. And a lot of people think I'm in a job. This is not where I want to be, where they bash their job. And I say, here we go again with the words. Be very careful with your words, because someone is praying for your job right now.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is to get a job and land it and keep it, you know, people really start to take for granted. And I see it a lot online. Oh, I hate my job. And I'm like, oh, you know, it's just like, be careful, because if that job was not there, how are you going to feed your family? It would be critically worse if you didn't have that job. Now, of course, work in your passion, like you're saying. Don't forget the things that God told you to do. If God said, hey, you're supposed to be doing X and you're working this job, create that income, keep that savings going so that it can fund your business. I coach a lot of individuals, you coach a lot of individuals, but most of the entrepreneurs and realtors that I coach, I tell them, be grateful for your job. Because that's what's going to fund what you need to launch what's in your heart. A lot of people think that, you know, entrepreneurship is just, I'm just going to arrive. And it's not that easy. So, you know, just focusing on that, maybe 3 hours a day, just focus on your business, and all of a sudden things will align if it's for you, and it will produce at the right time, not at your time, but at the right time that it's supposed to.
Really good.
People self-sabotage. I've done it a lot, and people have asked me, like, what are you scared of? And people, you know, there's two things that people could be scared of. And I remember on a coaching call one time, the lady told me, I was like, I could relate. She says, I'm scared of success. You heard that before, because I've said that to myself. I've said it out loud. Have you experienced that, where you're scared of success?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all do. Yeah.
Some people worry about the fear of not being good enough, but if you are really good, like you know you're going to be, then that's a different demand on you, that people are going to look up and say, oh my goodness, now this person's getting bigger, and you're going to require staff and all these new things that you're going to require now.
Yeah, I think, and I believe it's that, and I also believe that it's just our physical makeup. Like I feel like the more that we understand how we are created, the better we can move effortlessly towards what we want. Because if you just study your mind has only one significant purpose, and that is to keep me safe. Like, your mind is created to keep you safe. And so if you think about that, anytime I start to elevate, anytime I start to do something different, anytime I have an aspiration for something different, there are alarms going off everywhere in my mind saying, this is wrong. This isn't the right direction. What are you doing? This isn't safe. And so even if it is success, it's not that I fear becoming successful. It's that I fear the unknown.
Right.
Sometimes imposter syndrome is there. Insecurities are there. Obviously, traumas can be there. But it's the fear of the unknown. It is our fight or flight mechanism. And so I encourage so many people, whether you're entrepreneurs or not, you have to give yourself a ton of grace, because at the end of the day, you are not necessarily designed to just effortlessly go towards your goals. You were talking about something a little bit earlier. And, you know, social media is very, very interesting now, because you see people all the time, hey, I'm making 10,000 a month or 100,000 a month or 1 million a month. And it becomes other people's goals because they see it. Right? Not even thinking about what it would change in their lives or what they're really after. They just automatically assume somebody else's expectation instead of asking, what do I really want?
Exactly.
Not what do they have, but what do I really want? But if you think about that, okay, if I go from 10,000, 2,000 a month to 10,000 a month, my mind has no choice but to research the reference points. And so your mind automatically, if I set a goal to go from 2,000 to 10,000 a month, my mind is automatically going to research, hey, what do we know about that? Have we ever tried a different opportunity before? Have we ever moved to that city before? Have we ever been in that type of relationship before? Have we ever acted this way previously? And if so, what were the results? And so if you failed before, if you've tried things and you failed, if you've tried a new relationship and it failed, your mind reminds you of all those things. And in that moment, unconsciously, you will avoid that pain. The pain of what? The pain of uncertainty. And so that, you know, we don't have to go deep into that, but That's why I think it's so important to understand your mind. Like mindset is everything. And once you can recalibrate that, then everything becomes possible for you.
Yeah. And I think everyone in business or just walking this earth, every morning you've got to listen to something in the morning. There's got to be some kind of morning routine that you have that gets your mind focused. Every morning when I'm walking the dog, I'm spending at least 20 minutes, listening to Myron Golden. It could be Les Brown. It could be Joel Osteen. It could be anyone that I'm just listening to on YouTube, because it's kind of like I'm going to church and business school at the same time.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm going to learn something just to at least get myself right. Like, I'm not going to church every Sunday. Why wait? I'm getting it all week. I'm getting it every single day. So I like that. And definitely talking to individuals, I'm thinking you've got to be able to control your thinking so that your next steps, as far as whatever you're looking to do in money, won't be so difficult and hard.
Yeah, you want to know why that's actually so important, Lorie? And real quick, I just want to test the room real quick. Can you all just drop a 1 in the chat if you're looking to change your results? Like, not necessarily change who you are, but like there are some results in your life that you're looking to change. Like whether it's the amount of money that you're making, whether it's, hey, I'd like to have a little bit more peace in my life. I'd like to have, some better relationships in my life. You know what? I'd like to be able to make some better options. I'd love to be able to retire my spouse. I want to send my children or grandchildren to some different school systems. I think every single one of us, just innately, based on the way that we were created, we are creatures of progress. There is nothing on God's green earth that does not seek progress. Everything seeks to grow. We feel the most alive when we are growing. Here's why what you said is so important, Lorie. Family, do not miss what Lorie just said when she said, first thing in the morning. Damon, why are you emphasizing this for Lorie? Here's why. Write this down, family, because right now, 95%, write this in your paper, 95% of your actions and 95% of your thoughts are unconscious.
Yes.
The way that you're listening to me right now is unconscious. The way that you're looking at me right now is unconscious. The way that you're taking notes is unconscious. The way that you're receiving the information is unconscious. The way you brush your teeth every single day, the way that you wash up every single day, the way that you drive home to work or school or whatever it may be every single day, the way you put your clothes on, everything, 95% is unconscious. Think about that for a second.
So true.
95% of what I do every single day is unconscious. Why is this so important? Because here's the thing. How in the world am I going to create a different future result if 95% of what I do every single day is based on an experience of my past?
Right.
How in the world am I going to experience a profitable future when everything I currently do is based on a problematic past? Because guess what? The way that you behave right now, you weren't born that way. You weren't born liking what you like. You weren't born doing what you do every single day. It was learned. And so here's why what Lorie said is so important. And even more, listen to me, family, even more consequential than you listening to somebody else, here's what's really important. What are you saying to yourself? Because even as I'm speaking, even as Lorie is speaking right now, there is still another conversation that's happening that's way more consequential to your results than even you listening to us. Damon, what's that? What you're saying to yourself. Because 85 to 90% of the conversations that you have every single day are with you. And so the truth of the matter is, if we were being really, really honest, if you all grew up in the same environment as me, you all know the ending of the scripture, life and death is in the power of the, yeah. But guess what? Everybody knows that conceptually, but nobody uses it practically. Well, Damon, how do you know that? Because family, for many of you all, if you had a best friend that spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, you wouldn't be even friends with them anymore. And so what Lorie was talking about is so important, because write this down. First thing in the morning and last thing at night before you go to sleep, your unconscious mind is the most impressionable. Damon, what does that mean? That means right as soon as I wake up in the morning and right before I go to sleep at night, if I'm looking to change that 95% of habitual nature I have, I need to work on myself in that period of time. So do you want to know what's even more powerful? Here's what's more powerful. What are you saying to yourself during those periods? Are you telling yourself how much of a champion you are? Are you commanding your day? Hey, this is about to be one of the greatest days I've ever experienced in my life. Hey, you may not like where you're working right now, but guess what? Gratitude is a seed for more.
Yes.
So if you can show gratitude for what you're currently experiencing, guess what? God will automatically bless you with your next.
Yes.
Some of us right now, Lorie, are not living our dream lives because we keep talking ourselves out of it.
Easily. I have a gratitude book every morning. I write into it. I've shared it with some of the folks on here. Gratitude every single morning. So no matter what, where you are, that gratitude is 5 things. And I think I got this from a Bob Proctor. Yes, it was from Bob Proctor. The late Bob Proctor. 5 things in the morning of what you plan to do. The first thing, Damon, is be happy, loving, and supportive, and wealthy. That's my number 1. Number 2 is receive a certain amount of money, like a crazy amount. And I would say receive $50,000 today in my Navy Federal checking account. And the next 3 things are just the 3 things I need to get done today. Write a squiggly line, and then below that, this is where the gratitude comes in. I'm so happy and grateful now for, and just write 10 moments of gratitude. Ladies, gentlemen, after you write that, oh my gosh, there's no care in the world. You can leave the house and you understand God's got it, because you've already said, these are the things I'm grateful for: air, money, shelter, whatever it is. But we take for granted that the lights are on. We take for granted that we have electricity, that we have Zoom, that, things like that. And people are just taking things for granted every day, but you want bigger things. So yeah, I love the morning gratitudes, that it really starts the day right, so that I'm functioning properly with the right mindset to just take on the day. Whatever God brings me or blesses me, then great. Then it happens for the day. Whatever happens for that day happens. So I love the mornings are my favorite.
Amen.
Let's get people focused a little bit more on how they can attract money. So we're in different areas of money. So there's a difference between working for money and attracting money. How do you attract money in your life?
Yeah, you don't, if you all want to write this down, you don't get what you want out of life, you get who you are. You don't get what you want out of life, you get who you are. And so I think the common misconception when it comes to the law of attraction is basically stems from a movie called The Secret. I think in the mid 2000s, right? I sound really ancient right now. But I'll be 41 on August 4th. And I know some of y'all like, well, I didn't know you was, well, thank you. I know.
And you're Leo, so hello.
Y'all felt like I was just, thank you. But there's a movie, I don't know if you all ever heard of it. It's called The Secret. And The Secret was going over something called the law of attraction. And so after everybody watched the law of attraction, they all felt like, oh my God, I could sit in my living room and I could just think about checks coming in the mail, and I'm automatically going to attract extreme wealth. Yeah. Nothing but checks are going to come in the mail because I sat in my chair and I just thought positive. I was just grateful for checks. Family, if you do that for too long, you know what's going to come in the mail? An eviction notice. Okay. Here it is. There is a senior law. There is a senior law to the law of attraction. And let's stop real quick. Damon, what is a law? A law is a universal truth. A law is irrefutable. A law works every single time. Many of you have heard of the law of gravity. There's nobody on the line right now that would argue with the law of gravity. We all know what goes up must come down. So I don't care whether you're rich, poor, black, white, skinny, cute, ugly, doesn't matter. Your mama loves you. If I take you to the top of this building right now and I throw you off, you will not float, you will not fly, you will fall. Why? Because it's a law and it works every single time. You know what's funny about life, Lorie? Many of us will look to attract, we will look to have, we will look to gain, but we won't even know the law behind it. Right. And so when you ask me about the law of attracting wealth, well, I don't need to attract wealth if I know the law. I just have to behave in accordance with the law. Okay. And so the question becomes, well, then, Damon, what is the law of wealth? Now, that's a good question. The law of wealth, if you all want to write this down, I learned this from Earl Nightingale. All right, Earl Nightingale has a disc. You can look it up on YouTube. One of my mentors suggested that I listen to it every single day for at least a year straight. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. It's about a 31-minute and 14-second audio. Oh, it's absolutely phenomenal. But he stated that the law to creating wealth, if you want more money, the law is your income will be in direct equivalent to the value that you bring the marketplace.
Amen.
Your income will be in direct equivalent to the value that you bring the marketplace. Ladies, this changed my life forever, because my first question was, okay, but I am a child of the Most High. I was made in the image and likeness of the ultimate creator. So I am invaluable, sir. Great. I know you all are invaluable. The question is, what is your value to the marketplace? Watch this. If you question what your value to the marketplace is, it's actually quite simple. Simply look at your monthly income right now. Simply look at your total deposited income for 2024. You may be invaluable in the eyes of God, but to the marketplace, right, that is your value. So the question becomes, okay, Damon, but Lorie's question was, Damon, how do I make more money? 3 things, write this down. If I want to know how my value is determined to the marketplace, number 1, what is the need for what I do? I think some of us can simply start with, well, what exactly do you do? Some of us, the CIA, the FBI, listen, Crime Stoppers couldn't even figure out what you do. Mm-hmm. We don't know. We have no, listen, we have no idea what to call you for. We don't know what you do.
Hidden.
So the first question, family, is what do you do? Is there a need for what you do? I'm gonna bring this home. Number 2 is, what is my ability to do it? Not what is my ability to do what I do, but what is my effectiveness to do that thing in my industry? I'm gonna give you an example here in a second. Number 3 is, write this down, how hard is it to replace me? How hard is it to replace me? Family, when I learned this in 2013, I was moving furniture for a living. I was making $9 an hour moving furniture for a living. I was struggling financially. And here's what was interesting. I was making $9 an hour. Question for you ladies. Is there a need for what I do? Everybody say yes. Why? Because people are moving every single day. You got rich people, you got aunts, uncles, grandparents. You got people all over the earth moving every single day that need help moving. So is there a need for what I did? Yes. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Damon, what is your ability to be effective in that industry? See, I was in, watch this, Lorie. I thought what that meant was, well, Damon, you got muscles. Of course you can move people's furniture. Of course you can move armoires. Of course you can move beds. Of course I could carry a washer by myself.
Okay.
But watch this. I wasn't a mover. The industry that I was in is called logistics. And so every single day when I would pull up in my 2003 Hyundai Elantra, right, there was another man that will pull up in a beautiful 2014 Porsche. And I used to look and be like, well, wait a minute, we're going into the same building. He's a millionaire. I'm making $9 an hour. We pull up at the same time. He's a millionaire. I'm making $9 an hour. What is the difference? Oh, well, here's the difference. He understands what type of trucks are needed for the business. He understands the routes. He understands P&L. He understands communication. He understands leadership. He understands how to run a company. All I understood was how to move furniture.
There's a difference.
Watch this. Number 3 is, how hard is it to replace you? See, if I had gotten injured on a job moving somebody's furniture back then, guess what? They would have had a replacement for me before the furniture hit the ground. Now watch this, y'all. Guess what I do now? I am a coaching consultant. Guess what? Is there a need for what I do? Absolutely, yes. What is my ability to do it? Well, I can show you better than I can tell you. I can show you the hundreds of people that we've been able to assist over the years. Watch this. How hard is it to replace you? ChatGPT could never replace me. AI could never replace me. That determines your income. And so if you're looking to increase your income, you increase your income 2 different ways. And then I'll throw it back to you, Lorie, because I want to give you something very, very practical. Here's the first way, with character traits. You increase your income with character traits. Number 2, you increase your income with skill sets.
Yes.
In other words, competencies. So character traits are things like focus, discipline, resiliency, imagination, fortitude, resourcefulness. These are character traits. Talent can get you in the door, but character is what keeps you there.
For sure.
Skill sets. These are called competencies. Things like your ability to communicate, your ability to sell, your ability to coach, your ability to lead. Those are skill sets.
I love it.
You want to increase your income? Just take that last 10 minutes or so, and I promise you'll be in a completely different place next year.
Be better. Give more. Give more. That's it. Because when it comes down to a lot of people who are thinking of how to get there, it's about giving more. And that's been the secret. Like, one of the things when I was getting into speaking, Damon, I'm worried about my hair and how does my outfit look and all these things. And I'm nervous because speaking is nerve-wracking. So I'm standing there and my coach was saying, here's one thing I need you to grasp. And I need you to always understand this. He says, it's not about you. I'm like, what do you mean it's not about me? I'm up here. You guys asked me to speak on something. He said, it's not about you. You're here to deliver a message, whatever it is, to your audience. So for all those that are there and they're thinking, well, how am I going to get better? Just give more. Just give here. Like I said from the very beginning, once you start focusing on what can I give to be a blessing to Emma and Margaret and Lanice and Dante, how can I be a blessing? Then it takes the weight off of, I'm not worried about my hair. I'm not worried about my shoes, okay? Because I'm here to serve you. And that was mainly my mantra for 2024 was serve.
So good.
When I walked in that, it changed things because I wasn't worried about rent, car payments. I wasn't. I don't know how I made it through. God only made that happen. But when you're focused on those things, then those things get further and further away. Same thing when I was about the coach and I said, I need to make $10,000. He said, focus on helping more people and then the money will come as a byproduct. And that's definitely what helps. I appreciate that.
So good.
Leaning in. So what is it more that people can share about your world? What is it that you're helping more people with right now?
Getting better. The majority of the people that I'm connected with, I believe that God has assigned me to in this season are either starting entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs that are somewhat seasoned, but have not consistently earned at least $10,000 or more in their business. The majority of which are in the financial services industry. So life insurance agents. I'm having a lot of fun with that. I've been a licensed life insurance agent since March of 2014. And so we built an agency from about 2015, and we dissolved of that part of the business in 2022. So I spend the majority of my time now coaching and consulting, and it is what I believe it's what I'm going to do until the day I die. I absolutely love people. I love people.
That's what you're here for.
Yeah,
So you're
for sure.
helping others make more money, not just in their sales arena, but talk a little bit more about the insurance space. How does that, because those are two separate things, right?
Yeah. I don't write many policies anymore. I'll probably write one or two policies, but I have a team of individuals that I assist right now with their sales, and some of them are extremely knowledgeable when it comes to some of the advanced market products, things like IULs, things like whole life insurance, permanent life insurance. Some people are a little bit more into some of the temporary insurances because of the living benefits, because of the affordability of some of those policies. So from both sides of the venue, whether it's helping agents earn more money or it's helping clients understand some of these more advanced products so that way they can utilize them for some of their financial goals.
Got it. So let's break it up in two different conversations, if you don't
Sure.
mind, real quickly.
Yeah.
So you have individuals on here who are thinking, I make the money, but it's not growing. How do I, further this? Because none of us are 25 anymore. I don't believe anymore. You can, yeah. None of us are 25. How is it that the money that we're making right now can grow through our retirement? What is your best way of capturing that conversation with someone?
Yeah, really good. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Again, I'm very, very remedial, y'all, right? Like, I don't care how many books I read, how many seminars I've been to. If it's not simple, I'm not going to retain it. So I don't know if anybody's like me. So when it comes into all these complexities of these policies, listen, when they start talking over my head, I'm like,
shut down.
Listen to me. When I was in school, the minute they started adding letters to numbers, I left the class. I said, wait a minute, this don't even make no sense to me. Why are y'all doing this? So insurance is actually very, very simple, right? You have two different policies. You have temporary insurance or you have permanent insurance, period. So when it comes to, and actually, let me take a step back real quick, because what you asked me is, how do I grow my money?
Right.
The number one thing that I would ask you to your question is, do you understand, first of all, the major risk factors that will stop you from growing your money? Because if I know the enemy, I can defeat the enemy. There's no way for me to grow it. There's no way for me to grow it if I don't even know what I'm up against. Sure. And so if you all want to write this down, there are three things historically, and as far as I can see into the future, there are three things, three very simple factors that will stop you from growing or accumulating your wealth. Here's what they are. Number one, taxes. Number two is inflation. Number three is market volatility. Okay. Number one, taxes. Number two, inflation. Number three, market volatility. Now, here's what most people do in order to protect or grow their wealth. There are storehouses for money. And so some of these are going to sound very, very familiar to you all. Here's where most people put their money. In other words, and again, don't throw a fire sign in the chat. Don't throw a one in the chat. We don't want nobody to know what's going on in your household, okay? But here's where most people put their money. Number one, they put it in the bank. Okay? So somebody just say I'm guilty. Yes, Damon.
Account.
Anytime I get paid, Damon, I'm putting it in my savings. I'm putting it in my checking. I'm putting it in my, okay. That's some of us. We put our money in the bank. Some of us will put our money, we're smarter. Hey, Damon, I contribute to my 401k. Okay. Well, congratulations. Damon, I have a Roth IRA. Okay. Congratulations. Hey, Damon, I'm a little bit of a sophisticated investor. I got stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. I put my money into the markets, Damon. Right. And then we have some people that say, you know what, I'm a little bit more of a sophisticated investor. I invest in the hard assets like real estate. Got it. Here are the risks to every single one of those. Okay. The risk to every single one of those. Family, let's start with putting your money in a bank. Question for you. All right. And everybody tell me in the chat. If I had let me see, do I got a $100 bill? I think, okay, watch this. Okay, I got a $100 bill right here, right? Can y'all see this? All right, I got a $100 bill, right? If I took this $100 bill and went to the bank right now, and I said, hey, I want to put this $100 bill inside of the bank. Ladies, tell me yes or no. Could I go back to the bank tomorrow and ask them to give me the same $100 bill that I gave them yesterday? Yes or no?
No, sir.
No,
Here's my question. Why?
because they loan it out for one.
Yep.
Oh,
Someone else has
wait
that.
a minute. Do not miss that, y'all. It's a very simple answer, but do not allow the simplicity to go over your head. It's a significant answer. So you mean to tell me that when the bank gets my money, Miss Doris, what do they do to it immediately?
At night, they start the process of loaning it out.
Wow. But question for you. If I have a savings account at the bank, how much interest do I typically earn on my savings account?
Oh,
Gosh.
less than one.
Yeah.
Miss Doris said, gosh.
Next to nothing.
Next to nothing. But question, Miss Doris, how much do you think they charge someone else in interest for the money they loan them?
Depends on their credit.
Depending on the credit, depends on how much.
Give me a roundabout.
Nine.
Let's talk about the real estate market right now. On average, even if I have decent credit, what kind of credit rating am I getting, Lorie?
6.5.
6.
Wow. So you mean to tell me, watch this, do not miss this, family. Let's just call it 7% for the sake of numbers. If anybody on here, and I'm not going to get too deep into this, but if anybody understands the law of 72 or the rule of 72, which means my money will double every however many years is in accordance with the interest rate I have. So in other words, if the bank is loaning money at a 7% interest rate, the money that they're loaning that person will double in what they get on an ROI every 7 to 10 years. And they're only giving me 0.0004 of the money I give them.
Disrespect.
Listen, somebody just say to yourselves, that don't work. So in other words, Ms. Doris has just proved to us why putting your money in a bank is not the safest thing to grow your wealth. Yes?
Right.
Here's the next one, a 401k. Family, I got a question for you. A 401k. Okay, number one, if I am 40 years young right now and I am investing in a 401k, question for you, at what age can I take my money out without any taxes or penalties? Does anybody know?
59 and a half.
Thank you, Ms. Doris. Everybody throw some fire signs in the chat for Ms. Doris. Ms. Doris could be up here teaching with me right now. Come on now.
Yeah.
Now, Ms. Doris, I got a question, and everybody help me out. Tell me in the chat. Will my money that I put in my 401k today be worth more or less when I turn 59 and a half?
If you keep adding to it, it'll be worth more.
Okay. Now I want everybody to answer with me. If y'all agree with her, say I agree. But I want to ask you something, Ms. Doris. If I put $100, the $100 I put in my 401k today, will that $100 be worth more or less to me 20 years from now?
Less. Because of fees.
Less.
Because of what?
Fees.
Not only because of fees, but because of inflation.
Inflation.
Question for you. Will taxes be higher or lower 20 years from now?
Always more.
It's going to be higher.
Always higher. So you mean to tell me that I'm going to put my money in a 401k, and I'm not going against a 401k. I'm just giving you all an example, right? But you're telling me that I'm looking to grow my wealth. I'm looking to grow my income, but I'm automatically losing half of every dollar I put in there. Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. The same thing with the Roth IRA. Even though I will accumulate based on an interest rate that they choose to give me, family, at the same time, if I take any money out of there, I am taxed and penalized at the same time. Family, real estate is the same way. What I would say, in my opinion, the easiest and the safest way of protecting your money is probably going to be with a traditional whole life policy or an IUL.
Yes.
She's excited. She said yes.
Yeah. There are some tax laws within these policies that will allow you to accumulate the money inside of them tax-free. that will allow you to borrow against the policies, absolutely tax-free. They also have a death benefit that will accumulate and grow, absolutely tax-free, and pay out to your family tax-free upon your demise as well. So again, everybody's situation is a little bit different, but if you were to ask me just kind of basic, which way would I go, that'd probably be the direction.
Got it. So it takes a conversation for you to at least kind of figure everyone out, because my situation is different from Gwen. And Gwen's situation is definitely different from Naima. So I like those conversations. So can you help people with those one-on-one conversations to kind of figure out where they can park their money best?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, if I'm not going to be the best person to assist you, I can definitely point you in the right direction for sure.
Okay. So that's great on one side, where those conversations, because I work a lot with people that are selling their home, thinking about it. And those are conversations that I can't have, because clients are selling their homes, walking away with over $100,000, $200,000. And I'm thinking, don't go crazy with this money. There's, you want to make this money grow. So that's the reason why I really wanted you on here to help people understand. If you come into a lump sum of money, or you have money in your 401k and you want to see about moving it to something that makes more dollars for you, that's the reason why Damon's here, to really spark that conversation with you, to figure out what's the best avenue, honestly, to grow your money.
Yeah, really good.
Now let's switch on the other end and get things maybe just kind of closed out with you guys. With the side, when you're talking to your sales folks, are you only coaching your insurance family, or are you open to coaching anyone in sales?
Yeah, my main focus is life insurance agents right now. Obviously, I can coach anybody when it comes to sales, but my main focus right now is people in the financial services industry. So if you're either going through the process of getting your license, if you already have your license, if you've heard about getting your life insurance license and you're interested in doing that, I'd be the guy for you.
Got it. I know Arkitha is on the line. I think Arkitha is still on the line. She's a realtor and also an insurance carrier. So I wanted her definitely to speak with you, or just to hear you, because she hasn't heard about you.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'd love to speak.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for narrowing all this down. So everything that we're talking about here kind of wraps up where we're talking about keywords that stood out for me. And for those that are involved with still connecting to the community, the money is there. So when people say this industry is bad, or, oh my goodness, real estate is bad, or nursing is bad. Well, it's what you said it is. It's exactly what you said it is. This is probably one of my biggest months in real estate. And the reason for that is I'm in coaching myself, not only helping coaching other people, but I'm coached to understand your belief has to change. Your mindset has to change, where it's not just on the check. It's coming. I promise you it is. But the more and more that you focus on, how can I be more of a blessing to Gwen? What does she need? And you pour more into, what does Doris need? What are her needs? And actually listen. On my vision board, I have a huge ear, and it's just listen more to what others need and be valuable, like Damon said, because your skill set has to be tuned all the time. No matter if you're in sales or whatever industry that you're in, you've got to be on top of it, because the next person is waiting to take your spot. So it's a matter of just being that blessing to other people, so that, yes, you're valuable. And when we have these coaching sessions, it's not about, Lorie, well, what can I post online to make more money? Well, are you giving any value? Are you going live and maybe sharing some tips and just doing a quick video so that people can understand how you can serve them? Yeah. Then we can talk all day. But if you're not doing that, then the checks aren't coming. I'm sorry. The checks are not coming. So I want to thank you very much. If you can, drop in your calendar link, so that if people are looking to get connected to you on either side, if they needed to have a conversation about what do I need to do about my money, and then second, if they are in sales or thinking about insurance sales to be coached by you, please drop your calendar link inside the chat, and I'll make sure that my community gets that as well. Does anyone have any questions before he wraps things up? Thank you so much, Damon. Does anyone have any questions? You can unmute yourself and chime in while we still have him here for a few more minutes. Naima says you have helped me with a decision that I've been contemplating on getting an IUL account. All right, see? All of that, see? Awesome. People. See, when we were talking about the right people, you never know what people are going to be put into your space to give you the answers that you've been looking for.
That's awesome.
Emma, awesome.
I'm excited.
Oh, in the chat. Can you put in the chat in Zoom? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
Okay, bet. Okay. For those that also wanted to get connected to my community, thank you, Damon. For those that wanted to get connected, I have a community called the Inner Circle. So if those that are interested in connecting with other like-minded individuals to help you grow in business, marketing, and all types of wealth strategies, then that's going to be the Inner Circle that you can join. And certainly I'll drop that in there as well. So if you wanted to get more information on how you as a salesperson or how you can at least grow your business, because that's what we're talking about in there, is how to grow your business. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, you guys, I'll send everyone a follow-up text as far as the links that you need in your business, both calendar links and of course the link if you're interested in connecting with myself. Thank you so much, Damon. You have been a blessing to a lot of us and opening that door of discussion of wealth, mindset, and achievement. So thank you so much. Until the next time, please follow him on social media, all things Damon Dillard. And
Damon P. Dillard.
I'm sorry, Damon.
And the P is not for periwinkle.
Make sure that you follow him on all platforms so that you can really see a little bit more of him and experience more of him and how he really works. So thank you so much, Damon. You guys have a great evening. Thank you.
Good night, family.